Hello, chances are you're watching this because you'd really like to find somebody who can support you at your birth. So perhaps you're pregnant now, or maybe you're planning on becoming pregnant soon, or maybe you're in very, very late advanced pregnancy. So no matter where you're at, if you're looking for somebody to support you at your birth, then I can certainly help you. I look after women in the Sutherland area, St George area, and in the nearby areas. I have a tendency not to travel a long way because it is so time consuming and so challenging. But if you're in the southern region of Sydney, then I can certainly assist you. So my name's Julie and I teach prenatal classes. I train doulas. Yes, I'm a mum. Yes, I've been to about 150 births over my many years of teaching, and I've worked in a hospital for 12 years, so I am what you'd categorise as pretty experienced. I am that person who, when I'm at a birth and things seem to be going a little bit off track, I sit very calmly and quietly and nut out what is there that we can do to put this birth back on track again. What little tweaks can we make, and how can I help this woman to become more empowered, stronger, more confident, and keep going with the birth? So the sort of people who look for me are those that are wanting to have a normal, straightforward birth. They don't want gas, morphine, epidurals. They don't want drugs for pain relief, and they're not keen at all on the idea of forceps, vacuum and caesarean sections. Now, it's not that they're extremists or that they're massively opposed to it, but deep down strongly, they really want to have a normal birth for their baby. Why would that be? Well, the mother's in better condition after the birth if she doesn't have a caesarean or a forceps or an episiotomy, and the baby's in better condition. The more that mum can avoid the drugs for pain relief, of course they cross the placenta and go through and affect the baby, and of course a baby coming out with a forceps delivery or a vacuum delivery is going to have a headache and is going to be an unhappy baby for a while. And mothers want their baby to be in great condition, and they want to be in great condition too. So there's a quick reason why some people will prefer to have a normal birth. Now, I help those people. That's where my effort, my energy goes, and that's what I achieved when I was pregnant and when I had my two babies. So I researched a lot. I was very concerned and a little bit anxious because most of my friends had had extremely challenging births, and some of them claimed that they'd been railroaded into unnecessary medical intervention, and I definitely didn't want that. I was very much the mum that if my baby was in trouble and I needed medical intervention, my goodness, I think I would have raced everybody else to the operating theatre for a caesarean section. I was so excited to be pregnant, so excited to have a baby. I couldn't wait to get my baby in my arms, and I just wanted a lovely, healthy baby, but I wanted it in a way that is more normal, not necessarily heading into a situation of extreme medicalism. So there's a quick description of me. Who are the people that I support? It's usually people who have come through my classes. They've learnt a whole range of things. The dad, if he was a bit reluctant to come to class, or even if he wasn't reluctant, sometimes it's them that books the class, but they've had all of their fears allayed. They've got a much better sense of direction of where they're going and what they're doing. They're much more confident about setting down a birth plan and working together as a team. So I'm very much that person who will super include the dad and help them to bond as a couple even more and work together as a team. I'm just in the background supporting, helping both of them, very much physically and emotionally, but very quietly, very calmly. And it's usually people that have come through my classes. They've met me, they've got to know me, they understand where I'm coming from. So very much from a normal point of view, but if we need medical intervention, hey, isn't it great that we've got it? It's available, we can use it if we need it. So it's a very balanced viewpoint. So the people who have come through my classes have gotten to know me, they've learned a lot, we've gotten to know each other, and a bond has formed. And then they approach me and say, we would like you to consider being our doula. And so as long as I'm not booked out, as long as I'm not overly busy at that time, then sure, I can certainly agree to be their doula. And then we have special sessions, just us, aside from the classes. So the people that I don't support are those that don't come to the classes. They don't want any education, and nor do they want to meet me beforehand or get to know me beforehand. They just simply want me to turn up at the birth. So I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that. I much prefer to meet people and get to know them, and for them to get to know me. I want us to have an established friendship first beforehand. So there you have it. I have 2 books that I provide during the classes. One of them, they're actually quite big. They're what I call the Transition into Parenthood workbooks. This one is all about pregnancy, labour and birthing, and it's filled with a lot of information, but lots of pictures and graphs and tables and question-answer format. So that it's a brilliant book, which is all super positive, super empowering, very much including the dad. There's the list of what to pack for hospital for the dad as well as the mum. It's actually amazing. If you got to read this book, you'd discover I'm very much a list person. So I love being super organised, and people just thrive on that. They're like, wow, she's so organised, and now we are too. And then the second book, and look, it's actually extremely important, whether you have me as your doula or not, it's super important to remember you're not just having a birth, you're actually giving birth to a baby. So the second book is purely baby care and parenting. Now, this is actually a much larger book, and I totally updated all my resources during COVID. I decided to be extremely constructive with all our lockdown time. I know we're not talking about that anymore, are we? But hey, I redid everything and redeveloped my resources. So I'm super proud to say, I am super proud to say that I'm really delighted with the results of these 2 books. Everybody comes along to class, the Transition into Parenthood. They grab these 2 books, they're thrilled. And I did have an obstetrician come through recently where she took them, she read them, and she sent me a text message. I'm reading your books, Julie, and her words were, they're gold. And I was thrilled. Lots of exclamation marks she put after that, and I was just, it really made my day. I was so happy. So it was interesting. When she came along to class, she said, well, she wanted to meet me beforehand, and I gently, respectfully said to her, look, all of your obstetric training is not actually going to help you at all to give birth, not as a woman. So from a woman to another woman, I can certainly help you in the classes, and I didn't need to be her doula. She was over on the north side. And her partner came along to class. He was a little sceptical. He was a GP, and he was very unsure of the whole thing. Of course, he's medically trained, so of course, the whole concept of normal and natural, but it resonated with her, and she wanted her baby to be in great condition after the birth. When she went into hospital in labour, she said to all of the midwives, I definitely want a drug-free natural birth. And she did. And then after she gave birth, she sent me the most long text message with gorgeous photos of her partner and her baby. And the baby was just so bright, so alert. And she said she gets it now. So she said in her text that this has changed her practice, her obstetric practice forever. And I think the midwives would have been extremely happy for her as well. So that gives you an example of where I'm coming from and why. Okay, so if you're interested in having my support services, come along to the classes. There's the hypnobirthing class where I teach breathing and relaxation and visualization. So it's wonderful if you're feeling a bit anxious or a bit depressed or just a bit disconnected to or you just want a big confidence boost, then hypnobirthing does that. If you're also feeling a bit disorganised and you love that feeling of being ready, prepared and organised, well then the Transition into Parenthood is the one for that. It's full of practicalities. What do we do? How do we do it? When do we do it? And checklists. So it's not superficial like Instagram. There's a lot there. And you can either squash the whole lot into one day, or you can do 2 days for transition and 1 day for hypnobirth. So that's 3 is the maximum for knocking over the classes. So once you've achieved the classes, then of course we talk about my doula service, and of course most of it is on my doula page on my website, julieclark.com.au. And so when you have a look, if you want to, then by all means give me a call, text me, email me, and we'll chat further. Okay.